Excuse me. Yep, out of my way. Yep. Boy with box coming through. Stay there. I hate you. What's going on, guys? I'm gonna kill myself here. What's up, guys? This is my last video here. What's going on, guys? I'm gonna delete my channel here. The best YouTuber. Freaks me out that the last one of these that I did was a year ago. Or the fact that this is the 6th annual. I've been doing this for 6 years. 6 years. It's like, it's not half my life. It's a little less than half of my life I've been doing these videos, which sucks. I wasted my life. Because this year's is especially long, and I want you guys to watch the whole story, I'm just gonna make this intro part really quick. So for those of you who know how YouTuber Words works, I'm just gonna put a timestamp on the screen and you can jump to there for the story. Just gonna wait for everybody to clear out. So basically how this all works is every year at Playlist Live in Orlando, I walk around with this box. Then I have anyone who wants to participate write one word on this little piece of paper and then their channel at the bottom. Just like this. Then I have them put their word in the box. And at the end of Playlist, I open up the box, take all the words out that I got from everybody, and make a whole story out of it, and I animate it. Now you're all caught up. When I first started doing this, I would just take all the words I got and make a story completely out of the words. It wouldn't even be like a totally conscious story. There would be nothing to it. It was just random, although it was also like YouTube 2013, 2014, so random equaled funny. But for this year and the last couple years, I take all the words I got and just let them guide the plot and make all the characters around them and events that happen in the story based around them rather than just the story being the words, so you can actually get a nice, enjoyable, meaningful story. I always work really hard on these every year, but this year especially, I tried to do some pretty crazy things that you'll see eventually. And so I would really appreciate it if you enjoy it, share it, tell people about it, show people it, and just get it out there. This year, we got more words than we ever have before, and I only want it to keep growing from here. And now, I present to you YouTuber Words 2019. Go. Enjoy. Where do I start? Well, let's begin our tale in the mystic land of originality. A land once full of love, acceptance, and of course, originality, as the name suggests. But as we begin our tale here, the land was broken. See, an evil ruler bought the land from its original owners not long ago, destroying its people from the inside out. The ruler of the land went by the name Queen Slaughter Sister. She was one of 3 sisters. Everyone thought she was a good ruler at first, but this was merely a falsehood. She would soon reveal her murderous intentions. She built a machine to the very north of the land, known as the Algorithm. This was her machine of doom that she forced everyone to obey. It was a set of rules that she had imprinted on the citizens to cooperate with the other, more corporate and corrupt lands. The Algorithm would make sure that she brought in as much money as possible, as that's the only thing her and her sisters cared about, neglecting to care for the citizens in the process. If someone disobeyed the Algorithm, they would face serious consequences. Although, in this same land lived many citizens who desperately pleaded for change. They just wanted the torment to stop, and for things to go back to the way they were before. Down in the far, far east, in a town called Pinkety Drinkety, lived a man that went by the name Koala. Koala was just another citizen whose life was deeply affected by the Algorithm. Koala loved his life before the new queen. He could do what he wanted, when he wanted. But now, he was merely a slave to the algorithm. Koala only had one goal in his life: to destroy the algorithm and bring Queen Slaughter Sister's reign to an end. Koala had no family. It was just him and his pet owl, who he called Scorpion. He trained every day to get to the far north capital city, Vibes, where the Queen and the algorithm resided. Koala had mapped out where he needed to go. First, he had to make his way to the east capital city, Shister, where the Queen's younger sister, Thotiana the Blessed, lived. And so, after months and months of preparing, he and Scorpion left home to bring hope back to their broken land. They worked their way through various spooky paths until they hit their first roadblock, the Purple Woods. These woods were filled with zombies. A curse was placed upon them many years ago to keep it filled with them. But Scorpion and Koala had no choice but to fight their way through. They ripped their way through the dense woods and the dense flesh of zombies and zombie pigs. It was scary, but they made it through by the skin of their teeth.
So, you wanna pass through here? You gotta pay up to get through the gate.
They finally arrived at the east capital city, Shister. Though they had some troubles at the gate, they made it through. Shister was a mess of a city, as it was under the supervision of Thotiana the Blessed. The goal? Get into the capital and take her out. A homemade lobotomy, as Koala called it. They walked over to the capital doors, opened them up, and walked right in. See, they knew that as long as you had money in this land, you could do whatever you want. So, Koala saved all his money for the journey, and they paid the guards off. Simple as that. So, they headed up the capital stairs and came to her room. They opened the doors and saw her floating in the air, sword in hand. She was ready for them as she heard what they did in the Purple Woods. Koala could tell she was already shaking, so he knew this would be an easy kill. Scorpion rushed at her in the air, while Koala ran at her on the ground. He summoned all his anger at once, picturing all the torture she had put her city and her land into. She was the youngest and the most inexperienced, so she couldn't hold them off for long. And that was the first sister. They had to get out quickly, so they jumped out the window to see the whole city cheering happily that one of the evil sisters was done with. And so, they headed for the west capital city, Haribu, where the Queen's eldest sister, Babuska the Suspicious, resided. On their path, they finally hit a well-known landmark, the Clown House, an old house where over 300 murders took place, people butchered on sight by a bat-wielding clown known as Mr. Bubbles Apple Television III, or Mr. Bat for short. Scorpion was spooked by the thought of him, but Koala thought, it's just some random dude in a clown costume, so how bad can it be? And so, they entered the house. The smell of blood and pickle juice filled the air. Both dripped from the ceiling. The phrase, "Here comes Johnny," was scribbled all over the walls, building both of their anxiety levels higher and higher. The mystery of the house filled the air as they moved farther in, toward the back door, where they could finally see the path on the other end.
Get out of here, you dadgum diddly-dum pickle stealers!
They both screamed and ran.
You wanna try my toaster, man? I'm not so spooky. Come over here!
They kept running to the back door and made it out just in time.
I'm sorry, sir, but the city's closed. No, I can't accept your money. Now get back.
Koala and Scorpion found themselves in a pickle. After hearing about her sister's death, Babushka the Suspicious wasn't letting anyone in the city. The conspiracy that someone was after the three sisters had been confirmed, so they had to find a way around. They saw that the guards were letting merchants in, so they snuck in behind one of the llamas carrying supplies. Finally, they were inside the city. To their phenomenal relief, they saw that the guards were only outside the city, keeping new people from coming in, and there wasn't any left to guard the actual capital. They walked through the doors with confidence, walked up the stairs, and found the second sister looking out her window at her broken city. And that was the second sister. And so, they ventured off to the North Capital, where the Queen resided, Vibes. Koala and Scorpion were tired, with little to nothing left in their inventory, when they finally came across a small town called Yethpasito. All of the townspeople were running through the city doing jazz hands. Koala was confused until he saw the sign that read, "First Annual 5K Jazz Hand Marathon!" It was nice to see at least some towns still having a little fun and celebrating. And he thought maybe he had something to do with that. They went to go have a rest and fill up on supplies before they ended it all. They entered a small store called Tanacon and met the owner.
What's up? How y'all doing? The name's Noddy Yoddy. I own this here place. Is there anything I could get you?
Scorpion really wanted a taco, so Koala bought him one for all his hard work. They filled up on supplies, Scorpion ate his taco, Koala ate a banana, they shook off the cold from the north and kept going. Finally, they saw it in the distance, the capital city, Vibes. And in the middle of it all, the algorithm. When they reached the gates, they saw the city in an all-out war. Koala had sparked something in the citizens to revolt against the Queen and the algorithm. Even though it was hurting them in the process, they knew that they could get through and defeat her eventually. The whole city was in an uproar, attacking the guards and the Queen's capital. Koala saw it all. Blood spread across the streets. Graffiti reading, "This too shall pass," covered the capital. Koala and Scorpion ran into the city, Koala's anger building as he ran through, seeing a dad pulling his baby out of a burning building, or a mother in the middle of pregnancy fighting off guards. This truly was the dark side, and Koala was ready to end it all for good. They made their way into the Capitol building and saw one huge guard standing in the middle of the room.
I am Dalton Turtle, the protector of the Queen's dream.
Koala did not have time for his games. He needed him dead, and he needed it now. Scorpion flew at his head, and Koala swung for his legs. Scorpion ripped his eyes out, and Koala chopped his penis right off. Koala was ready for a fight, yet to his disappointment, they were so angry at what the Queen had brought upon the land of originality that they couldn't even be stopped by the fiercest guard in the land. They finally made it up the stairs to the Queen's throne room, where she lied on the floor, covered in blood, chanting,
"How to stay relevant? Obey the algorithm. I'm so funny. Obey the algorithm. I'm not crazy. Obey the algorithm. Don't cuss. That's not obeying the algorithm."
She spotted them, and then started floating toward them.
"It was you bot. You're getting demonetized. I want my money back. I should have never bought this stupid land."
She began to use her demonic magic on Koala, strangling him up into the air. With Scorpion on his shoulder, Koala chokingly whispered to him to destroy the algorithm, because it was what she used to create magic. It took all of his courage, but Scorpion made a dash for the window, flying out onto the algorithm. He didn't have much time before Koala would be killed by the Queen, so he had to think fast. He remembered what his mother used to tell him. an ancient magic spell used by the owls, was the most vulgar spell in all owl history. Moist diarrhea forever. A curse that would make a whole flock of owls attack something on sight. And so, he used it. His owl family attacked the algorithm, destroying it once and for all, just in time for the Queen's magic to stop working and set Koala free. Koala ran up to the weak, powerless Queen and said one thing.
Now die.
And he slayed the Queen right there. Finally, the land was free. The algorithm couldn't control what people did anymore. And so, in the end, the land of originality got back what it was named for. Its originality. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Although I can't be sure because we're still in the middle of it right now.